Almost 40% of Americans claim Social Security at 62, and most of them are told they're making a huge mistake. You should wait until age 70. You'll get more money. You're leaving money on the table. But what if I told you the data says something different? What if claiming early at 62 could actually be the smarter, safer move for the right person? Even Vanguard, one of the largest investment firms in the world, published research showing that early claiming can reduce stress and improve outcomes when used strategically. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through why most people misunderstand Social Security, what the data actually says, why claiming early is sometimes the better move, and how to know whether waiting or claiming now actually fits your life. Because the goal isn't to blindly maximize your check. The goal is to maximize your retirement. Here's what most people believe. If I wait longer, I'll be better off. And on the surface, that sounds logical. If you wait, your monthly benefit is bigger. So naturally, people think bigger check, better strategy. But that's where a lot of retirees get stuck. Because Social Security is one of the only financial decisions where people obsess over the number without first asking what that number is supposed to do for their life. And let me explain what I mean. Social Security was never designed to make you rich. It was never designed to be your full retirement plan. It was designed to provide a base layer of income, a foundation. That's it. And once you understand that, everything changes. Because now the question becomes not how do I get the biggest monthly check possible, but how do I use Social Security in a way that creates the strongest overall retirement plan? That's a completely different question. And for a lot of people, that question leads to a very different answer. Because the real goal isn't maximizing one line item. The real goal is maximizing your lifestyle with the least amount of stress, pressure, and regret. That's the difference. The reason so many people misunderstand Social Security is because they make the decision in isolation. They treat it like a standalone choice. Should I claim at 62, at 67, at 70? But that's not how smart retirement planning works. You do not make a Social Security decision by itself. You make it in context of your other assets, tax situation, your health, retirement goals, spending needs, income needs, family history, stress tolerance, and your desire to actually enjoy the years in front of you. That's why two people can have the exact same Social Security benefit estimate, and the right answer for one can be completely wrong for the other. That's why blanket advice is dangerous, because blanket advice sounds good, but retirement is personal. And the more personal this decision is, the more dangerous generic advice becomes. So let's talk about what the data actually shows. Vanguard ran the numbers, and their conclusion was clear. Waiting until 70 is not automatically better. That matters because that directly goes against the advice a lot of people hear online. What the data shows is this. For some retirees, early claiming can actually improve outcomes financially and emotionally when it reduces the pressure on the rest of the plan. That's the key. Not claim early no matter what. Not wait no matter what. But use Social Security in a way that strengthens the rest of your retirement. Here's when early claiming can work especially well. You have other assets available. You want predictable income sooner. You want to reduce withdrawals from your portfolio. You want more freedom in your early retirement years. You value peace of mind more than squeezing out the mathematically maximum payout. That last part matters a lot because retirement is not lived on a spreadsheet. It's lived month by month, emotion by emotion, and decision by decision. And that's where a lot of optimal strategies fall apart. They may look perfect mathematically, but if they create more stress, more fear, more hesitation, and more second guessing in real life, then they're not really optimal at all. Before we move on, let me just say this. This is the point where most people realize it's not that they've done anything wrong. They just never had a plan built around their real life. And that's why we offer something simple, a free retirement strategy session where we sit down, we look at your numbers and help you figure out what actually works for you. No guesswork, no one size fits all, just your plan, your way. You can book it in less than 1 minute. Just click on the top link in the description. For most people, that one conversation ends up removing years of unnecessary stress. All right, let's get back to it because now we're going to unpack exactly how early claiming can take pressure off your portfolio and give you the freedom to enjoy the retirement you've worked so hard for. So here's why claiming early can be such a powerful move for the right person. Reason number one, income earlier equals less pressure on investments. If you start Social Security at 62, that income starts coming in immediately. That means you may not need to pull as much from your IRA, your brokerage account, or your 401k right away. And that matters more than people realize, because when retirement begins, one of the biggest risks you face, not just market volatility, it's having to withdraw your investments during bad markets. That's where damage compounds. If the market drops and you're taking money out at the same time, you're not just losing value, you're locking in those losses. And for some retirees, claiming Social Security earlier acts like a pressure release valve. It reduces the amount you need to draw from your portfolio, and that can make the rest of your plan more durable. Not just because Social Security itself is magical, but because it changes the pressure on everything else. Here's reason number 2. It can protect the years that matter most. This is one of the most overlooked parts of the conversation. Your 60s are often the years you're the healthiest, most active, and most capable of doing the things you've spent decades dreaming about. Traveling, seeing family, moving somewhere new, starting a hobby, taking the grandkids somewhere special, actually enjoying the time you worked for. And yet so many people push all of that into the future. They tell themselves, I'll do it later, I'll enjoy it later, I'll travel later, I'll claim later. But retirement doesn't work like that, because the money isn't the only thing changing. You are too. Your energy, your health, mobility, and priorities all change. And one of the saddest things we see is when people protect money so aggressively that they accidentally fail to protect life. That's why this matters. In the last 2 years alone, we've worked with over 1,000 retirees at Valoram Solutions. And for the people who claimed early because it fit their situation well, they used the money. They took the trips, they spent time with family and created those core memories. They reduced anxiety, and they actually lived. And almost nobody comes back and says, you know what? I really regret enjoying my healthy years. What we hear more often is, I'm glad I stopped waiting. Because sometimes the real cost of waiting is invisible. It's not just financial, it's experiential. It's the years you can't get back. Reason number 3, the psychological shift is massive. This is the part many advisors underweight, but it's real. The moment a reliable check starts landing in your bank account every month, something changes emotionally. You breathe, think and spend differently. You stop treating every dollar like it might be your last, fight or flight. And for many retirees, that psychological stability is worth more than the theoretical benefit increase from waiting longer. Because confidence, peace, and feeling safe actually matters. Let's make this real. Imagine 2 retirees. Both are 62, both have saved well, they've worried about making mistakes, and they both have heard they probably should wait. Person A waits until age 70. Why? Because they want the biggest check possible. So between 62 and 70, they pull more heavily from their portfolio. They tell themselves it's worth it because the bigger check is coming later. But during those years, they feel cautious. They delay travel, begin second-guessing their spending. They worry more when markets drop, and they keep wondering if they're withdrawing too much. Now, person B claims at 62. Their monthly Social Security check is smaller, but now they need less from their portfolio. That means less pressure, less stress, and more importantly, more confidence, and more freedom to use retirement income while they're still active enough to enjoy it. Now, is person B always better off? No, that's not the point. The point is this: these are real scenarios where the smaller check now creates a better retirement than the bigger check later. And until people see that, they keep assuming bigger monthly benefit automatically means better retirement. It doesn't. Let me be very clear here. Social Security is a tool. It is not the plan. It is not your safety net by itself. It is not your income strategy by itself. It is not your retirement system by itself. It's one tool. A real retirement plan includes how much income you need every month, how much of that comes from guaranteed sources, how much of it comes from investments, what accounts will you withdraw from first, how do you manage taxes, how do you deal with market risk, how do you preserve flexibility, and how do you make sure your money supports the life you actually want. That's the plan. Social Security fits into that. It doesn't replace it. And once people understand that, they stop obsessing over the best age in a vacuum, because they realize the better question is, how does Social Security fit into my overall income strategy? That's the question that matters. Now, to be fair, there are absolutely cases where waiting is the right move. If you have strong assets, low spending pressure, excellent health, and you want the largest guaranteed check later in life, waiting may make perfect sense. If longevity runs in your family and you want more protection against outliving your money, waiting may be smart. If you don't need the income yet and you're using other assets efficiently, waiting can absolutely be a good decision. So again, this is not an argument for always claiming early. It's an argument against assuming later is automatically better, because it isn't. The right claiming age depends on your plan, not someone else's, not a headline, not a YouTube comment, not generic advice, but your plan. And when you finally see how Social Security works together with your portfolio, your taxes, your spending, and your goals, the stress starts to fade. Because now you're no longer guessing. You're no longer comparing yourself to random people online. You're no longer asking, what's everyone else doing? You're asking the only question that really matters. What works best for my life? That's where confidence comes from. Not from maximizing one number, but from understanding the whole picture. And if this gave you a fresh way to think about Social Security, and you're starting to realize, I don't need to fear claiming early, I just need a plan that makes it work, then here's your next step. Click the link below to schedule your free retirement strategy session. We'll walk through your real numbers, your income, your accounts, and your lifestyle goals, and show you what claiming age actually fits best for you. It takes 60 seconds to book, and it could remove decades of uncertainty. And if you want more videos that simplify retirement planning, go ahead and hit subscribe. We drop these breakdowns every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.